Oh, goodness. You're charged with driving while intoxicated, possession of marijuana, and harassment of a public servant. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or 2,000. Are you high right now?
What? Like, what'd you say?
We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, man. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On April 6, 2025, a traffic stop was conducted for the defense vehicle failing to maintain a single lane, following too closely. Defendant captured a pit stop at a flashing red light intersection. The officer, on contact with the defendant, the officer observed the driver and passenger to make further movements towards the standing motor vehicle. The defendant was identified by Texas driver's license. The officer observed slurred speech and bloodshot, watery eyes. The odor of alcoholic beverage was emitting from the defendant's breath, and the strong of marijuana was emitting. The defendant admitted to having marijuana in the vehicle, and the officer located a leafy substance in the console of the vehicle upon probable search. The officer also observed an open beer in the motor vehicle and another Ziploc bag with large amounts of marijuana. The officer also observed a Ziploc bag of narcotic mushrooms and a scale with marijuana residue on the surface located next to a large stack of other Ziploc bags. The defendant had $274 in cash. The defendant claimed ownership of the narcotics in the bag as well, and admitted that the items were marijuana and
psilocybin, the mushrooms.
Yes, sir. The defendant stated that she drank one margarita and that she also smoked marijuana. Surrounding sobriety tests were conducted, and the officer observed 4 to 6 clues on the HGN, 4 to 8 on the walking turn, and 2 to 4 on the holding stand. The defendant refused to provide a blood specimen. A search warrant was obtained. The defendant flailed and resisted during the blood draw. The defendant continued to flail and spit on officers and was eventually transferred to a hospital. Blood draw was unsuccessful due to the defendant flailing.
And here's the big one. Resisting during a blood draw, that's a completely different level of legal trouble. For anyone watching, there's an important distinction here. Refusing a blood draw, depending on the jurisdiction and circumstances, is one thing. That can carry its own consequences, whether it's license suspension, evidentiary consequences, or separate penalties under implied consent laws. But physically fighting the medical staff or officers during that process.
Finally, there's another attempt and the blood draw was successful.
Salas, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you better address it, because if you don't, and it becomes a problem, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm sending you for a test right now, and you're to come right back. Do you understand? If you fail to take the test, if you fail to come back, a warrant will issue. Do you understand?
So you want me to take a test right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Now.
It's not gonna come
Stop.
up.
I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. Come back, and then we'll talk further. I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today. Take the test.
This judge is not playing games. When he says, "I'm going to test you like crazy," that isn't motivational language. It's a warning about what compliance is going to look like going forward in practical terms. This is tied to conditions of bond or release, which are legally enforceable requirements imposed by the court. These conditions can include things like reporting requirements, drug testing, curfews, travel restrictions, or other forms of supervision designed to ensure compliance while a case is ongoing.
Come back. You understand?
Okay.
You're not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to test you like crazy. Do you understand? If you use after today, it's not going to go well. As far as the marijuana is concerned, I'm going to test you like 50 days from today to ensure there's enough time for it to pass. If you continue to test positive, do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm giving you the opportunity now to stop on your own. If you're unable to, that's when things will go sideways real quick. Does she have a valid license? Stay. And then any private of the eyes as well.
It's a true first and her license is valid.
Okay. All right. So for now, I'm going to have you sign a reset with Ramona. I'm going to have you get with Felicia, and I'll see you in about half an hour.
Okay.
Please. You know, pills are a complete curse on our nation because depending on what you're taking, they become so powerful, the addiction, that for you to get off, when you try to get off by yourself, you'll convulse, seize, you can have a heart attack. Not only that, you build up a tolerance and you keep taking, you keep taking, you keep taking. At some point, you will put your lungs to sleep and you die. It happens every single hour in this nation.
Yeah.
I don't want you to use. If I find that you're using, then I'm going to put you in jail and you're just going to stay with me. It's going to happen one way or the other. I don't want you to use, and I'm going to test you like crazy to ensure that you're not using. Do you understand?
What if I get it medically? Like
A prescription.
yeah, like a prescription.
That can still be abused. And if you're going to pill mills to just shop for prescriptions, I have a problem with that as well.
Mm.
Just because the last thing I want, there's an accident in this case, right?
Well, no, you got it.
Like a car accident.
The last thing I want is another death on the street and something major to happen. So I don't want you to use. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Did we put a scram on her ankle, right? Yeah. That device is going to tell me if you're consuming alcohol at any time. Do not put anything in your body that has alcohol in it. NyQuil, cakes, candies,
I took
foods,
I took Mucinex for coming, and I'm sick right now. So I do nasal spray.
Okay.
They told me that
Before you put anything in your body, read the instructions to ensure that there's no alcohol in it. I have everybody and their mom telling me here, well, I took NyQuil. I took this. It doesn't matter. You're not to use anything that has alcohol in it.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't use anything unless you have a valid prescription. And then I don't want you to abuse it, even if you do get one.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have a lawyer. It's your responsibility to stay in touch with her.
Mhm.
Again, I'm going to test you 50 days from today. If you're still testing positive for weed, it's not going to go well. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I had another question. Whenever I went to
Hold on. No. Ask your lawyer. I don't want you to, I've got a bunch of DAs here and I don't want you to say something that hurts your case. So ask the lawyer first. She can always come up to me and then we can talk. Don't just start asking things here.
I'm like, no, it was just about the court date. It was about the court date.
Caramba la bamba.
I'm like,
You can pick whatever day you want. I don't care.
okay. Okay. I'll talk to you about that then.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You didn't do anything until you sent her.
Okay, so yeah, I want to scram on her ankle and I want her to test weekly so that we know she's not using.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I wanted to talk to you about that too.
Okay.
I'm going to waive all your fees. It's never about the money. I don't care about the money.
No,
It's about you not using and staying out of trouble.
I don't have no card.
She can tell
like
you how to do that.
Monday, Thursday?
Yeah.
Or
Just one time a week, random. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you have to leave.
If as fast as we can get it to you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
today my dad's here, but that's for today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Miss Ellis.
To be excused, Judge.
Yes.
How did it be with her?
Okay. We have,
All right. You are Kara Lopez.
Yes.
Ms. Lopez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On March 26, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a crash on Antoine Drive, Orange County, Texas. The officer learned that an unknown party called 911 at the time of the crash. It was informed by another officer who arrived on scene that the observer couldn't be treated by ambulance. The officer informed the other officer that the defendant had already been transported to receive medical care. After spoke with the will witness, who stated that the defendant was assaulted and struck the witness's vehicle, causing damage. The will witness stated they observed strong odor of alcoholic beverage leading from the defendant, and the will witness came in contact with him. The will witness stated that the defendant was still in the driver's seat at the time of their interaction, and that it was clear that the defendant was intoxicated. The will witness reported that the defendant had slurred speech, was incoherent, and not making sense.
Okay, hold up. Did she really drink an entire bottle of vodka after the crash, right in front of a witness? Because if that detail is accurate, that is what lawyers would call a catastrophic decision. From a prosecution standpoint, post-incident drinking is one of the most damaging facts that can come out in a case like this. It doesn't just raise questions, it actively reshapes the entire narrative. Instead of the defense focusing on what her level of intoxication was before the crash, the focus shifts to what she did after the crash.
The police stated to the witness, I don't know why. The witness reported the being called and put itself on the crash. And immediately after that call, the defendant grabbed a bottle of vodka and consumed the entire thing in front of the will witness.
What?
Yes, Sherman. That's what happened.
She took a bottle of vodka and consumed an entire bottle of vodka in front of the will witness?
That's what I have here. The will witness noted that the defendant drank the alcohol bottle as if the defendant was drinking water.
Just when you think you've heard it all, man. I mean, really.
The officer observed an empty bottle of toxic vodka, and then went to the hospital to make contact with the defendant. The officer observed the strong odor of alcohol beverage from the defendant, observed that he could have slurred speech and glossy eye. The officer read the DIC form for the defendant when the defendant became coherent, and it was into a breath test and blood test. The hospital discharged the defendant, and the defendant was transported to the Joint Processing Center, but was unable to perform the state arrest or sobriety test due to the defendant's failure to follow instructions and to keep the defendant's and the inability of the defendant to keep her head up. The officer took the defendant's failure to follow instructions as a refusal. The officer was unable to get the defendant to stand upright to perform HGN, and due to the physical conditions, the officer did not ask the defendant to perform walking turn or do a stand. The officer concluded, the officer offered the opportunity to provide breath and blood. The defendant declined to provide breath or blood, and the officer proceeded with a residual search warrant for the defendant's blood. The officer was advised, the officer was advised the blood would be ready in 2 to 3 days. The officer noted that that's all I have.
Do you have blood back? Or no?
I do not. I'm not sure if that in the is referring to. The warrant was presented to the hospital, Your Honor, and a nurse advised that with blood, I guess, been ready for 2 to 3 days. The officer.
Do you have any pride to guys?
There was one in Caldwell County that was dismissed, Your Honor.
License?
License being. Your Honor?
This is the judge?
It's not on docket. I have to give you a case number. You ready? 255-7402.
Thank you.
If you speak English, right?
Yes.
If you have a problem with alcohol or drugs, now is the time for you to address it. Because stop. There's nothing that you can say at this moment. I'm warning you now, because this is the only one that you're going to get. I will do everything in my power to protect my city at all costs. I don't care who you are, what color you are, if you're a small farm animal. If I find that you're using, it's not going to go Well, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now is the time for you to try to get any help if you need help, because I don't know you. I've never met you before. All I know is what they're telling me. And if that's in fact true, now is the time for you to address it. I am going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming alcohol at any time. I will not entertain any excuses like it's mouthwash, it's a tequila lollipop, hair dye. I've heard it all, and excuses mean nothing to me. If you consume, it's not going to go well. Because of all, I don't want you in the car driving. You're not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you do, it's really not going to go well for you. I am putting now a restriction on your license that you are not allowed to drive any vehicle that's not equipped with an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught, and I'm sending this notice to DPS, so everybody, every officer in this state knows, if they pull you over and they don't see an interlock, they will take you to jail. Do you understand? And then you and I will have problems. Just don't.
Judge, this is Carla Lopez first,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you said no driving?
Correct.
Thank you.
And then a scram, please.
Yes, Judge.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am. We will give you an application. You missed court once. A warrant is now in effect for you because you missed court the first time. I will reinstate your bond now, but this is the only get out of jail free card that you get. If you miss court again, you violate any of these conditions, you will stay with me.
And now we're at 105 miles per hour. That's not just speeding. That's the kind of number that immediately changes how a judge views the entire situation. Judges hear DWI cases all the time, but extreme speeds like this fall into a different category entirely when it comes to risk assessment. Because at that point, the issue isn't just impairment, it's danger. And danger is what drives decisions about bond conditions, supervision, and release terms. High-speed driving in an alleged intoxication case is exactly the kind of fact that can lead a court to tighten conditions significantly, sometimes immediately. Things like stricter monitoring, no driving orders, ignition interlock requirements, or even pre-trial detention can come into consideration depending on the jurisdiction and the overall circumstances.
And I don't know who you have in this life, but if you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to $10,000, you will be stuck like Chuck until this case is over. Do you understand? All right, come up. We'll have you sign this. I need you to fill an application. Deputy Miranda's going to give you an application, and we'll go from there.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you are Saeed. Is it Saeed?
Say it, yeah.
Saeed. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. On April 5th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers observed the defense vehicle going 105 miles an hour on the Northwest Freeway in a 60-mile-an-hour zone. The traffic stop was initiated, and the officer observed the defendant to be the driver and the sole occupant. The defendant was identified by a German identification card. The officer observed bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage from the defendant. The defendant stated he would not answer questions and would not perform standardized for sobriety tests. A breath test was refused, and the officer observed 3 empty beer bottles and an empty bottle of wine in his motor vehicle. A blood warrant was obtained, and a blood draw was executed.
Are you trying to tell me that he's consuming while driving?
I just have a moment, Your Honor. Does not specify, Your Honor.
Regardless, Mr. Saeed, you are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid license to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All I heard here was a German identification card. If you do not have a license to drive and liability insurance in your name, then you're not allowed to drive, and that is a condition of your bond. If I find that you violate these conditions, then I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, into jail you will go. No more PR bonds.
Yes, Your Honor.